Okay, so this video is sort of for me and for you guys. You've seen this camera before. It's the Nikon FM3a. I have a silver one. I bought this over a year ago on eBay. I love it. It's a really cool camera, and I think it's the kind of the pinnacle of Nikon manual SLRs, not SLRs, but manual SLRs. But I'm thinking about selling it. Kind of wanted to see what you guys think about it. So I have the whole box and everything. I think I did kind of an unboxing like this before, but for the fun of it, we'll do it again because I want to talk about it quickly. I'm going to try this to be brief, but I'm not very good at doing that. I typically ramble. What's kind of neat here is, and I showed this in another video, I have the guy's B&H receipt, the original owner, so I'm the second owner of it, and somewhere in here it even has a little shutter curtain card that was inside it. So the issue I have is whenever I'm shooting 35mm film, I end up shooting my F100 Nikon, which is an amazing camera, or I shoot my Klasse S Fuji film, little 38mm f2.8 point and shoot. And yeah, I mean, it's really those two. And then for 120, I have my Veronica RF645. This was the other camera I was shooting, and you know, I had some Konicas that I've gotten rid of them all basically, and I'm giving one away on this channel. If hopefully would have already posted that video by now, but I'm recording a couple things. But this guy, as much as it's amazing and it feels awesome, you hold it, you know, it's nice, all metal. Well, I think this front piece is plastic, but the bottom plate and the top plate and around the prism and everything, this is all metal. Chromed in my case, and it's an awesome camera. I think it's like the coolest one ever as far as the manual Nikon SLRs. I just don't use it as much. I really appreciate the autofocus of the F100, but also when you're doing manual focus, I really like the arrow system that Nikon has, even on the D700, and I assume the other professional cameras, where it basically tells you which way to rotate if you have a Nikon lens at least. I have a Tamron lens, it's the reverse, so it's kind of screwy, but it'll basically give you an arrow pointing to the left, which means you got to rotate the lens left, or, you know, depending on how you're thinking about it, counterclockwise, and then you'll get focus. And it just seems really easy, and you know, you don't have to have, my eyes aren't maybe as good as they were before. I wear glasses anyway, but it just isn't as, it's just super convenient, and using the split prism like this, it's just not as easy. But I don't know, I have like some concerns about getting rid of this, because then if I want it again, I probably won't ever be able to find one this nice. I think I got lucky because I bought this for about 300 bucks on eBay, and I'm looking at them now and they're like $700, so that's kind of insane. This one's like really good condition. I would say pretty much mint. I mean, I've used it. The previous owner claims to have used it. You can't see any, there's no scratches or damage on it, but it's definitely used. It's just, you know, I'd use it gently. Like actually, you know what? Maybe there's a couple tiny marks, but you know, it's up there. What the Japanese sellers will call top mint, but it's definitely top mint. It's awesome. Well, I think this is a cool camera. If you haven't read about it, this is a manual camera, so even there's no battery in it right now, and all of these shutter speeds still work. So listen, 250th. Let's go up to 4,000. Go down to 15th. Let's go down to half. They all work because it's a manual camera, and this is, you know, nothing surprising. What makes this really compelling and engineering feat is it has the ability to shoot aperture priority. We put this in auto, and if you have it won't work without a battery. If you put a battery in, it can actually select the shutter speeds for you, even though that's all electronic. So this shutter dial does both electronic and manual. So many of the other Nikon cameras, if the battery dies, you have to, like I'm thinking the F3, and maybe there's the only one like that. You had one setting that I think was stuck at either 1/60th or 1/250th or something, just to be able to get you by in a pinch. Or they're all manual cameras, like I think the FM2, which everyone loves. I think that thing maxes out at 1,000 or maybe a 2,000. I don't know, maybe it's a 4. I know the FA, which is a really cool Nikon, by the way. I love the Nikon FA. It's technically advanced like this, and it has this cool add-on grip on the front right here, but I'll digress. This one has this ability to do both. The FM2 doesn't have that kind of fancy feature. The FA I think will be the closest one, that kind of the coolness of this, but it has a switch for aperture and shutter priority and program mode. That inside kind of in here looks kind of funky. This one I kind of feel like still has that more manual cleanliness. And the other thing is it has a normal TTL hot shoe. I don't think it's advanced TTL, but it's TTL. So this camera literally does through the lens, flash. The F100 I think does a better job. So I think it's because of the meter. This doesn't have a matrix meter, so it's center weighted only, and maybe that limits the flash ability. But it has TTL flash, which is pretty crazy to have on a manual SLR, and I've used it. So I'm saying all these positive things about it. Flash sync port here, like it's the ISO dials in here, and does a DX coding, which I don't think the FM2 has, or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I've never owned one. I've just seen them. But you see the DX sensor in there, and there's actually a plate you can get for like imprinting data. I think a data back. But it has like all the cool features. It has your depth of field preview even. But I don't use it as much. Oh, and double exposures is kind of, you pull this lever, so like it has everything cool. But I don't know. I just don't use it as much because I always just shoot my F100. And because of that, I'm considering selling it, and because I've noticed on eBay they're worth like $700. That's pretty insane, and I could get something cool. And I mentioned this in my other video of my Konica giveaway, but I could get something like a 645 N2 Pentax for that, and I always like 120 and want to shoot more 120. My Bronica limits me. I only have 2 lenses for it, and the third lens is impossible to get, and I don't have the camera calibrated for the replacement lens, the 100mm, whole other story. So, and it's a rangefinder, and I think the autofocus SLR design would be better for 120. So that's kind of where I'm at. Let me know what you guys think, if I'm crazy, if I should just keep this beast. I don't know, it reminds me of like a gun or something. It's just all metallic and awesome. I've heard people say that at the F3 because of the pieces when you slide them on and off, but this just feels like a substantial piece of metal, and I think I could regret it. And it is awesome. The viewfinder is huge. The F100 viewfinder, my D700, they're really small. Anybody using a DX DSLR, those viewfinders are like pinholes or like garbage. I remember I used to shoot a Canon 60D, and the viewfinder, in comparison, like you can't see anything through those. This thing is like looking through this gigantic bay window. It's amazing, but you have to manual focus, and like I said, I sometimes get photos back and they're not as sharp as I thought they would have been. It's probably because I messed up on the focus. So that's kind of where I'm at. But let me know if you think I'm crazy, if I should stick with it, even if I don't use it all the time. It is smaller than my F100, so that's nice. It's not as small as my Klasse S, but this with my little 50mm 1.8 AIS lens, which is pretty small, is still a pretty compact little package. So maybe I need to reconsider it, but this is what I'm thinking about. Also, if you have any questions about this camera, let me know. I'm a big advocate of it, but for some reason it's not as popular as the FM2. I don't know why. I think this is a better camera, but maybe some people will think I'm a lunatic for saying that. To me, it just has everything the FM2 has and more, and it seems like it, in some ways, is worth about the same, because the FM2 prices have gone through the roof too, at least in mint shape like this, top mint shape. So I just think this is a better camera. And the other thing that's cool about this that I think is the big piece for me, by the way, this came out after 2000, so it's not that old. It's like 16, 17-year-old camera. I think they made it till 2001 or something like that, or maybe it was a little bit after. The FM2s were like from the 80s. You're talking about like almost a 30-year-old camera. So these are not going to likely to break as much because they're not as old. So yeah, sorry I'm kind of rambling, but let me know what you guys think, if I should keep it or get rid of it. I even bought spare eyepiece on eBay because I was worried I wouldn't be able to get them anymore, but I don't know, I might sell it. We'll see. Thanks.